So today's video, I want to make something a little different. So what my plan is while I'm streaming and things like that, one question that I constantly get is where to get started, or where I got started, or how do you learn this, and how do you learn X feature when it comes to Unreal. So I thought I know other people have done it, but I thought I'd contribute a little bit of where to get started with Unreal. Okay, so first things first, I'm not going to show you how to download the engine. I think there's plenty of things on how to do that. Once you download the engine, you have some really great resources that a lot of people miss. And that is, when you're in the Unreal Engine here, there's actually this cool little Learn tab. And from here, you can actually get access to some of the most important documentation for getting started. It's actually all the places I'm going to talk about are up here. I'm not going to talk about the community wiki that they took down. But the most important thing, what I always tell people should be their step one, is obviously install the engine. But this right here, so this is the engine samples, and this one right here is in what I believe the best sample you can download. People don't realize, like, it is actually pretty important to read the docs. So the one thing I notice a lot is people just will start with the engine and not realize Epic's actually been like, hey, why don't you read these for getting started, right? And they have these really quick little reads you can do. And this one especially, I believe, is important. They have these things where, like, you can quickly learn. This is super fast. Just learn about a couple things and you can learn it. So, like, you can learn how Unreal handles and abbreviates things, and, like, oh, it calls upon this, upon is that, a character's this, a controller's this. And this is something I think is missed quite a lot. So, like, you'll end up either reading a tutorial or listening to someone else, and what happens is you don't know what they mean when they say, hey, you need to get a reference to your player pawn, or you need to open up this editor. I think they mention the editors, okay, because there's things like the static mesh editor you can open. And a lot of that stuff you learn in here. So this is always, sorry, this is just kind of off the cuff video. I always recommend coming to the docs. And the nice thing is, say you came from Unity, they have a nice getting started from Unity documentation in here. And now mentioning this, they do have a newer getting started from Unity, and this might be a little confusing for some people if they just read the docs. Is once you log in, you can actually come in here, and these are full-blown courses. And I think this is something that's very overlooked by both beginners and people that might have some intermediate Unreal skills that are looking to branch out into deeper things. All right, so we covered, like, the documentation and stuff like that, but the one last thing that I wanted to cover is a good resource to get, like, more tutorials and I want to say more live content. Unreal has their own YouTube, which is great, and I'll list some stuff that they post on here. But I wanted to recommend some Unreal content creators that do tutorials and other things. All right, so first up is Ryan Leahy. He does live streams as well as just tutorials and things like Make Games with Katie. Has a really good, pretty thorough beginner's guide, and is a really great place to start. Quixel has a lot of stuff to do with Mixer and their Quixel Megascans, but since they were bought by Epic, it's free to use. Super recommend it. They have a lot of content on both using that as well as creating assets in Unreal and that type of thing. Andy Dev, he's got some really cool stuff on the control rig. Code Like Me, they have some cool little tutorials on all sorts of parts of the engine. Gamedev is one I found. They had some, like, Zelda-like things, all these stuff. Nitrogen has some really amazing game dev tutorials and full-on quest system, different things you can do in Unreal. really great person to follow if you're interested. Unreal CG has some material effects and things like that you might be interested in. And lastly, I'm just going to recommend the GDC page because they post games that were done in Unreal. And then just overall game design and game content. These aren't necessarily all the creators I watch, or I don't recommend all of their videos, but they are some really great, they have some good content that should help you along your journey with Unreal. Okay, now one of the last things I wanted to cover was Twitch, and I'll put all of these names in the description to links to their page, but I wanted to cover some really good live streamers that live stream either Unreal or game dev content in general. So I'll have a list on screen or whatever, but I've got a nice little list of people on there as well. It's just not as easy to be like, oh, these guys aren't live. Like, live streams don't look nice. That's what we're looking at right now. It's my offline screen. The last thing I want to cover is that every single month there is free marketplace content. And this, if you're just getting started, is something that is super important because it can literally be full game's worth of thing. Like this month, I'm recording this in September, we just got the arcade space shooter template. So that's an entire template for your game. Includes all these things and has a save systems, AI, menus, all these things already done for you. So if that's the type of game you want to make, bam, done. That easy. This month includes also some ArchViz and some other character stuff, but this is all completely free. They also made some content free forever. It's new footstep sound effects, but honestly, every single month, first Tuesday, give or take, we get all this free content. Hasn't been really too disappointing of a month yet. It's really great to look into. Even that this is a like $300 water system that you can just get for free and enjoy, and it's really nice. And all right, the last thing I wanted to cover is I do have a spot on my Discord. Gotta do those shoutouts. Where if anyone has any Unreal dev questions, feel free to ask them here. We also have resources for any engine, whether it's Unreal or Unity, and it's a good place to come hang out, get some learn about engines, maybe help decide what you're gonna do. We also give away free content. So yeah, and I guess that's the end of the video. If you haven't already, I guess subscribe. I normally do Unreal, like not so much tutorials, but like showing off new features. And then here I'm we're trying to branch out, so hit that subscribe button, like, comment, yell at me, I don't know. See you later. Hopefully this helps you find some resources.